Hello, Perth. I've always wanted to do that. Okay, I've got 3 key messages. Number 1, no silver bullets, no shortcuts, no cheat sheets. Build the right toolkit. Number 2, no shit jobs. That's actually everyone's responsibility, the employers and the employees. And it requires having the right culture. And lastly, number 3, no one is born a hero. You have to work at it, and don't give up. My name's Sarah Heward, and I'm the founder and co-owner of the Real Food Café in Tyndrum. Thank you, Caroline, and your team for putting on this fabulous event. I have to say, from behind the scenes, the preparation has been meticulous, so I'm pretty sure you're in for a very worthwhile and enjoyable day and a half. Caroline, on a personal note, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to do this and putting your trust in me. It's so refreshing for me to be in an environment where I'm surrounded by people who understand running a business in a rural location. I'm not a farmer. I'm a hospitality and tourism professional. But all too often, I'm at events, industry events or meetings, where frankly, the vast majority of people really don't have any idea. I guess why should they? But that also extends to some people, a certain number of people in positions of power. And I'm afraid I include quite a lot of politicians that I've come across, and even occasionally some industry leaders. However, I'm going to move on to tell you a bit about the cafe. Move on to my next slide. So you can see here, Tyndrum is a remote location, got a population of 150. Just to put it in perspective, the children going to secondary school go on about a 90-mile round trip every day. So it is quite rural, it is quite remote, and it's seasonal. So one of the big challenges, which I'm sure a lot of you will relate to here, is juggling the cash flow. If you looked in our bank account now, you'd think, wow, they've got lots of money. But the whole year revolves around the 3rd week in March. That is the key date. Every decision we make about investment revolves around that date. I'm sure you'll all get that. The cafe is a roadside diner, and it started when I bought a derelict little chef 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. We were in quite a rush to open it because, as you'll appreciate, we wanted to get open for the season. We actually opened on the 25th of April, 2005. Today, we turn over this year just short of £2.5 million. That's food only. We're open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 13.5 hours a day. We're open for 361 days of the year, and we employ 30 people. On one of those slides there, you can see a dashing couple and a man with a pink Mohican. That's my husband, Alan McComb, and he's here today. But if you want to speak to him, this photo was taken quite a long time ago, so he's not got a pink Mohican anymore. It's more a kind of grey baldy. He's a silver fox. And below that, you can see a picture of the cafe on a lovely sunny day in Tyndrum. We've spent quite a lot of money trying to make it look as attractive as possible. Not bad for a former little chef. Here's some of our food. We're well known for our award-winning fish and chips, great coffee, and fabulous home baking. We don't use any mixers. We source our food where we can from Scotland, but where we can't, we put sustainability as one of the key criteria. And we hand make a lot of things. one of our core values is the quality of our food. We haven't skimped on it. We could, buy cheaper. We could buy ready-made tartar sauce, for instance. But we've refused to do that and cut our quality and cut corners because we believe one of the reasons we're so busy is because people like our food. So we've really dug in and stuck to that. And I'm sure you can imagine in our location, that's been tough from a financial and a person point of view. The next slide here aims to show a bit of the wider, what the cafe is like more widely. So we're very involved in environmental, community, and social projects as periphery activity around the cafe. And I'm delighted to say that we have recently led a campaign which has resulted in the building of a changing places toilet for severely disabled people in Tyndrum, which will revolutionise accessible tourism to the northwest of Scotland. We also do a huge amount of litter picking. I'm a litter picking geek. And I've been joined by an army of 400 people, so it's fantastic. We've collected 1,300 sacks of litter weighing over 7 tons, or appalling that that's necessary. But it's a great show of what a small business like ours is able to do in that area. We support many events and activities locally, like, for instance, there's a photo there of some of the Oban mini rugby team. We support them, the Killin Highland Games, and lots of other things. We're very embedded in a lot of outdoor activity groups and clubs, people doing adventure racing, long-distance cycling, etc. Was in a former life a 2-times Ironman finisher. So I really kind of enjoy the outdoor activity, and that, can really identify with these groups of people, and, they're very loyal followers of ours. So, over the years, we've won a lot of accolades and awards whilst we've built our consumer brand. But I think probably the most relevant one to talk about here today to you guys is some of the ones we've won more recently as an employer. So building our employer brand. So we're very proud that last year and again this year, 2 times running, we've been included in the Caterer's prestigious list of the 30 best places to work in UK hospitality. I absolutely know that we're the only remote, rural, former little chef to have ever claimed that, to be on that list. And then also earlier this year at the National Fish and Chip Awards in London, I love the Fish and Chip Awards, we were delighted to receive the Staff Training and Development Award. Now, Caroline asked me to talk a bit about some of the challenges that I faced when I started this business in the early years. So I'm going to spend a few minutes doing that. And then I'm going to move on to talk about, I guess, possibly more importantly, how I overcame those challenges. Because what's important here is we will all have challenges, difficulties, and adversity. I sincerely hope that you don't have some of the adversity that I've been through. But it's not what we go through, it's how we come out of it, how we handle it. So we want to be defined by how we deal with difficulties. So let me just kind of set the scene. So as I've already said to you, it was 20 years ago when when I bought this business, and in a hurry we're desperate to set up the business to make the most of the season. We opened in April 2005. And to be honest, we flew by the seat of our pants. We were delighted that, in the main, the customers really seemed to like what we were doing, and we liked the customers. I'd never met a shepherd before. I'd come from central London. So it was great that the locals were using us, but also people coming from much further afield. And then in September of that same year, we were invited to Birmingham by the BBC Food and Farming programme. And at that event, we were, much to our astonishment, awarded with the Best New Takeaway Award. As a result of that, the food doyenne, Sheila Dillon, visited the cafe and interviewed us. When they broadcast that interview, 6 million people heard it. And you've got to remember, this was pre-social media. So it really got the business on the map, literally and metaphorically speaking. So after that, we closed for a few months over the winter to regroup and work on our business rather than in our business. Very subtle but important difference. And then we reopened in time for Easter 2006. However, on the 21st of May 2006, my husband, Steve Wolsey, dropped dead in front of me at the age of 48 from an aortic aneurysm. Nothing prepares you for shock and grief like that. And I can tell you that what ensued over the next few years was nothing short of appalling, awful. Partly because I was so broken, actually entirely because I was so broken. I don't know, bad things seem to attract bad people, and people smell vulnerability, and the business was defaced and graffitied, vandalized on numerous occasions. And then somehow, God knows how, I ended up having a stalker. I ended up in a very dysfunctional relationship, which only ended when the police took control of it and put a restraining order in place. At work, I ended up in a lengthy and bitter employment tribunal. And to top it all off, our trusted bookkeeper was embezzling from us in a fairly major way. So, also I have to say that from a personal perspective, I was chronically lonely. Running your own business is a lonely business. Running your own rural business can be a lonely business squared. And I didn't realize it at the time, but my social drinking had become alcoholic drinking. So all in all, everything was a mess and things had to change. Now, it's only in retrospect that I've been able to create this, what I call my adversity toolkit. But these are the steps that I took to get through the difficult period. Number one, set realistic goals. If you set yourself unrealistic goals, you will fail. Okay, it's pretty obvious, right? But, you know, if we're ambitious and we're keen, you know, a lot of us do that. I know I do. But I was so broken at this point that I had to set baby steps. And I won't go all AA speak on you, but at AA, they tell you to take it a day at a time. Well, I can tell you I was taking it an hour at a time. So take baby steps, or take the steps that are appropriate for where you are in your life and in your business cycle. Be kind to yourself inside and out. So I think you understand about being kind outside. I know farmers have a terrible reputation for not going on holiday, but hopefully some of you guys, you guys do get on holiday. At least you're here today. But in here, there's a committee, right? And you have to manage that committee. You have to manage your thought life and get them in check. Build Team U. I have Team Sarah, right? But that's taken quite a long time for me to establish that team. This is my inner circle. These people have got my back, and they are there for me. And then you've got to ask for help. Now, some people think that asking for help is a sign of weakness. Personally, I have a different view. I think that asking for help, showing a bit of vulnerability sometimes, makes you more human, makes you more authentic, and it will help you build stronger and more effective connections with people. Develop and practice the art of asking great questions. Well, this is my husband's superpower. I am the mere apprentice in this department. But this is really important. And the reason this is really important is if you tell people things, this committee is going to find reasons to object. But if they say it themselves because you've asked great questions, then it's true, and they believe it. So I cannot overstate enough the effect, the power of being able to ask great questions. And it's very much a work in progress for myself. Set boundaries. Now, if my coach was here, I've got a very good coach, I'm going to give her a little plug, Kerry Hammond from the Scottish Agricultural College Food and Drink Department. Unfortunately, she's not here today, but if she was, she would be laughing that I have the brass neck to say set boundaries to you guys. So this is really do as I say, not do as I do. But what I can say is when I've been able to set boundaries, it's been really liberating. Actually, it's weird that the thought of setting a boundary is in fact liberating. But it is, because it frees you up from being pushed and pulled in so many different directions, and it energizes you. And then the final thing is the practice, practice, practice. Well, that goes back to the third point I made at the beginning, which is no one is born a hero. You've got to work at it. So this kind of takes me quite nicely into talking for a few minutes about how to making a great place to work. Our mission at the Real Food Café is to be the best employer in Scottish hospitality. Now that's pretty bold, but I'm saying it loud and I'm saying it proud. We've got it right up there in the mind's eye of our team, and I'm putting it out here because this helps to keep me accountable, keep me honest. You can do all these other things, if you're trying to be a great employer, you're probably looking and working on all these other things. We do not pay top dollar at the Real Food Café, but we are a registered living wage employer. And what we do is we try to reward great performance. So on top of the wages, our team will share in the spoils of good profit. Last year in 2023, we paid out £40,000 to our team. And this year, we will pay out a bit more than that. We've already paid out 30,000, but there's more to come. You can work on all these things, and you could even pay top dollar. But you know what? If your culture is off, you won't get the best out of people. It won't really work. People won't stay as long as they should or might. So what I did here was I tried to think about, what does a great culture, what is it? And I put some words into this word cloud, and you can read them. I don't need to read those to you, but these were my words for a great culture in a workplace. But these are just words on a slide. How do you actually bring them to life in the workplace and make them mean something? Now, this is something, I have to be honest, I could not have done on my own. I needed a coach. Now, when I said to you I was chronically lonely, what I didn't say was that eventually I agreed to join a dating agency to try and meet another man, because I'd lost my husband. I went for one date, and I met the man I'm now married to, who happened to be a business coach. Now, that all sounds like it was really easy, right? Let me tell you what's not, on lots of fronts. I've got a lot of baggage, I'll just say. Don't want to pin that on him. I've got a lot of baggage. So it was Alan, my husband, who started to introduce me and educate me and the rest of the team into how to build a positive workplace culture. And he used certain tools for that. As I've said, I've got a different coach now. I've got Kerry coaching me because you can't be married to your coach. Doesn't work, I've tried it. But Alan still coaches the rest of the team, along with a lady called Vicky Murphy from Step Sterling. So what Alan did was introduce us to tools, coaching tools. Now, there are a lot of tools. Okay, this is a really big subject, and there's no way in a couple of minutes that I can give you all of that information. But I can introduce you to some of the kind of more fundamentals. This one, the line of choice, is a cornerstone. So when I said about no shit jobs, it is a choice. It's a choice for employees to find their jobs enjoyable. But they're going to need some help to get there. It's not just going to happen. You need to bring them on that journey, and it won't happen in 5 minutes. So we started introducing the line of choice, educating the team that they don't have to be victims. And this little line of choice graphic you've seen there, we've got that on little business-sized prompt cards, which people have in their pockets, so they can use it day to day. And then the 6 steps to a winning team. Well, strong leadership, that's me. That's all of you sitting in this room. We're the strong leaders. Set your common goal. Well, you've heard what ours is. I'm sure you've all got them. And if you haven't, set it, get it. Create the rules of the game, that's a really powerful step. And this, we used 100% in participation and inclusion to make this work. So the whole team participated in creating these set of behaviors of how they wanted things to work at work. So, they would work in a collaborative way with their teammates. They would hold each other accountable for delivering on performance. They wouldn't swear and curse at work. They wouldn't talk badly behind each other's backs, this kind of thing. And we put that up and, on walls everywhere. So it's not just on a shelf gathering dust. It's really a living, breathing part of our business. But you know what? The final words I'm going to give to our team.
Hi, my name is Kat and I'm the head baker at the Real Food Café. Since I finished my SVQ, I understand and I'm managing the baking department like my own business, and I am just every year we're developing new items, new recipes in order to satisfy our customers. What I love about Real Food Café is have the feeling every day coming in a family environment, reputation, and also nice comments from customers about what we're doing here, about winning awards, and I trust the management team and owners.
My name's Aidan, and I'm a team member at the Real Food Café. The team culture is fantastic. Working with members of staff, if you slip up from time to time, they'll guide you in the right direction. Each member of staff has tips and tricks to make your job easier, make you more efficient. Well, I would think I've grown as a person, as in communicating with customers and making sure their needs are met so that their customer experience is the best that it can be. I think working at the Real Food Café is a fantastic opportunity for those looking for a first job.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm a deputy manager at the Real Food Café. The company has very high standards, and this I found it motivational to develop myself and to do better at work on a daily basis. This is very beneficial for all our customers. I appreciate that the company focus a lot on personal development, especially through their individual and group coaching. You can save a lot of money because you live in a remoter area. If somebody was thinking to come to the Real Food Café, I would strongly advise them to do it.
Thank you.